Alright, howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about what's been happening with Postscriptum in the last month or so. Postscriptum is developed by a studio called Periscope Games, or PG, and the game is published by Off-World Industries, the same company who have also developed and published the very well-known game Squad. Now, I feel like this information about Off-World Industries, or OWI, is important as I want to get back on a little bit about that later on in the video. But first off, we have to talk about Postscriptum's development team, or ex-development team, as the entire staff was unofficially announced to have been laid off right at the end of 2022. What exactly transpired and for what reason is totally unknown, but PG now only consists of the CEO without any official statement as to what the future holds for Postscriptum. Interesting to note here is that Postscriptum's latest announcement, where they mention having updated the game with the new Colmar map, which actually comes in 2 seasons, and I showcased this on my channel recently, the announcement talks about plans for the future. And whether these future plans regarding some of the new game modes for the Colmar map will actually happen obviously remains to be seen, and sadly a lot about the future of Postscriptum is completely unknown, mostly due to the lack of an official announcement from Periscope Games. I find it weird there has not been an official announcement from Periscope Games or Off-World Industries regarding these layoffs, and now I don't believe that the average player is entitled to an explanation, but it would really help put an end to all of the speculation. The lack of communication on this, in my opinion, actually kind of helps the dead game crowd more than anything. It's not hard to see that Postscriptum has always been struggling to sustain a larger player base, something that's very necessary when you have a multiplayer-only game with 40v40 servers, and you obviously want the game to be populated so these battles feel realistic and immersive. However, the highest concurrent player count in the last 12 months kind of limited itself at 1,246 for Postscriptum. A lot of people compare Hell Let Loose with Postscriptum and how Hell Let Loose has 10 to 15 times more players. Maybe this is a topic for a different video, but every time I do make a video on Postscriptum, a lot of people are saying, hey, this is a dead game, go play Hell Let Loose. And I just wish that an official statement came out from either OWI or Periscope Games, just so we have an idea of what the potential future of Postscriptum would be, if there actually is a future. Say Periscope Games were bought by a different developer studio with the intention to develop Postscriptum further. I'm not sure how that would work with OWI being the publisher first of all, and also Squad and Postscriptum, I believe both run off the Off-World core engine. I'm not sure how OWI would like it if their engine was used by a different company or parts of their engine, which I think really limits the possibility for Postscriptum to be bought and then developed by other developers. That is of course all speculation on my end, and I look forward to seeing what you think about this specifically. These layoffs at Periscope Games have not just impacted the actual Periscope game developers, but if you've seen some of my recent Postscriptum videos, these layoffs also impact third-party developers who have been really trying on bringing new content into the game. First up, I really want to talk about Chapter Mercury. This add-on focuses on the battle for Crete. I believe it initially was created as an optional mod for people just to download, but has since seen a partial but official integration into the base game. Without going into too much detail into Chapter Mercury's content itself, their first map, Malame, where German paratroopers fought against New Zealand troops, was such a vastly different map to the ones Postscriptum contained at the time, so really a complete breath of fresh air. Very open landscape with quite a bit of verticality. Sadly, the Chapter Mercury team has put out an official statement and confirmed that their second map they were working on, something I did manage to get an early video out of, Rhythmno, which featured a new Greek faction, will sadly not be released as an official update to Postscriptum as of right now. Like I said, I did showcase this new Greek faction in that map, which even featured underground tunnels, and I'm personally just very disappointed to hear this content will likely never make it into the game in any official capacity. Now, whether this is because Periscope Games is not willing or capable of introducing more content, or because the CEO has different plans for the game, is of course pure guesswork on my end. The Mercury developers thanked the community for their support and stated that the Mercury team is going to be pursuing their own project. Whether this is a full-fledged game after gaining all the experience modding Postscriptum, or a mod for Squad or something different altogether is not known at this time. However, after their fantastic job bringing Malame and Rhythmno to life, I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye on their future work. I also wanted to talk about the Shifting Sands add-on I have featured a few times on my channel. Personally, I was very excited to see North Africa as a theater in a game like Postscriptum, and Shifting Sands made it very possible with some amazing gameplay. The developers for Shifting Sands have stated they're still in talks with Periscope Games about officially adding Shifting Sands to Postscriptum, as happened with Mercury's Malame map, but with PG's staff turnaround, I would be sadly very surprised if this were to happen. The Shifting Sands team has announced that they will release their content as an unofficial mod for Postscriptum on the 27th of January if there is no progress on becoming an official third-party add-on. This would include their first map, while a second map, as well as new vehicles, weapons, and more content will potentially be added to the mod as a later update. Personally, I would like to add that the content from both Mercury and Shifting Sands is pretty much up to par, if not in some regards better, than the vanilla Postscriptum content, and I wish both teams good luck on any future endeavors, and I will definitely keep a very close eye on what they will put out next. I believe that Chapter Cherry Blossom and Chapter Red, which were focused on the Pacific and Eastern Front respectively, would have been very interesting add-ons to Postscriptum. Sadly, both of these chapters were cancelled, with Chapter Red's developer stating they started working on their own project instead. I'm speculating here, but if Postscriptum would have either added the Eastern Front before Hell Let Loose did in mid-2021, or the Pacific Theater, something a lot of people are asking for, I believe Postscriptum's player numbers would have been higher than they are today. Though of course this is all me, Captain Hindsight, and creating a whole new theater is of course a lot harder, though both Chapter Mercury and Shifting Sands basically managed to create a theater from scratch themselves. And last but not least, I'd like to bring your attention to this AI mod by the content creator Squitters. I can't say I've tried this mod myself, but I have messed around with other AI mods in Squad, and allegedly this mod somewhat works for Postscriptum. Seeing as Postscriptum is a multiplayer only game, playing solo is basically impossible. However, community mods like this might give Postscriptum and Squad some single player or co-op possibilities. I feel like Squad and Postscriptum with AI bots, something akin to Arma 3's Game Master mode, would be really interesting, allowing people to take on an army of bots in a co-op or even PvE VP mode, but it sadly doesn't appear that either Periscope Games or Offworld Industries is very interested in pursuing this AI/co-op game mode. So with this news about the Postscriptum dev team being laid off, and the consequences of that for third-party add-ons such as Mercury and Shifting Sands explained, I hope this video has helped clear some things up for the greater player base. Again, I'm looking forward to what the devs of the third-party add-ons will create in the near future, and also what the future may or may not bring for Postscriptum. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to catch you in the next one.